Welcome to Dune Spice Wars. My name is Nidas, and this is a guide to the early game, because in a game such as this, it is very often that if you get a good start and you're sort of ahead of the curve, then you can leverage that start into a good mid game and win the game from there. So if you're stumbling in the start, you're probably going to fail in the mid to late game. So let's get a perfect start going, and this will be working for all of these factions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a faction and not use any of the special abilities or any of the special counselors, so that you can adapt it with your own tricks. But I'm going to be talking about the builds, the sequences, the exploration, the expansion, the combat, all that stuff, in order to get you the best possible early game up to and including the first Landsrat Council. So if you find that interesting, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing for more guides. Let's dive in. And as soon as we're spawning into the game, we will be sending our ornithopters, set it to auto, get another one, get a melee unit and a range unit. The ornithopter will head straight over to the location where we have the spice, and immediately... What the hell is this? That is really far away. Okay, well that's a bit unfortunate, but this is the one we have to get, so that is where we're gonna head over. This one, you must get the spice as the very first one, no exception, and then from there it'll always only have two, so you can get it with your first two units. We'll send them over. That's a long trek to get there. Might actually be problematic in terms of our... This is... Okay, wind strength 2 is horrible, but well, that means we need to get something else for that wind strength. Good. Here, what we're going to do here is we're not going to be discovering those kind of things here. They are not important right now. What is most important is to try to find the second location for us to expand to. Everything we do will be revolving around getting expansions as quick as possible. There. And once we have... What we'd really like to find as the second location is a location. This one has good wind strength, 4 wind strength, for some water, and okay, and then hopefully have some minerals so for some plastic. There. So we are in... What? There. So I will be attacking the ranged unit first, because if you attack a ranged unit in melee combat, they get 50% power, and that means they don't really take a lot of damage. I got my second ornithopter. You're also going to go out and explore. If this one turns out to be a rock concrete, that would be ideal. Please be ideal. That's not ideal. We are not doing so hot here, but we should be able to make it, I think. I hope. Otherwise we're screwed. You should always be able to win the first one. Where are we? You need to go here. Yep. And you are exploring that one. That's unfortunately an incorrect one. This one is... Yeah, we got it. We have still 2 alive, so that is good. We will get this one immediately, as fast as we can. And we'll leave our units there to recover as much as possible. Let's go to this one first, because we are hoping this will be... The red chasm is a good candidate. I don't want to take this because we don't need fuel immediately. We want to see if either of these two, either this or this, will have the concrete for our future expansion. That's going to be... Oops. That was not intended. Here. And as soon as we have it, we got it. And the first thing we do is, of course, build the refinery, as always, and get some militia. You don't need to get the militia, but I prefer getting militia at this point. We're going to let them stand here to recover. Then we're going to go into our research. The first options we can get. I like to get this one first. It gives us a local... It gives us 15% less authority when capturing new villages. In the beginning, we're going to be capturing a lot of villages, as many as we can. So get that 15% early is good. Then we're going to go into composite materials, and from here either into the underworld market or into modular parts, or going this way for further reduction to expansion as we move on. That is the intention. I always pause when I go into a menu. I really wish they would pause automatically when going to menu. That is not what I wanted. So I'm going to go over here. This one, please be useful.
What do you want?
I want to take this one, and that's why I want to make sure my... Okay, so this gives us processing plant. Well, we're not going to get any... Unfortunately, in this case, we are not going to get what we wanted here. What we really wanted. You're going to go out here. You're going to go and take this one instead. That one. Oh, this one is Well of Riches, so that's also a good one for a processing plant. If it doesn't have too many defenders, then that would be a good candidate for getting that early. And that really depends, but what we'd really like to have was a concrete nearby, and it really bugs me that there is no concrete nearby. We got our defenders, because by having defenders here, we don't need to worry about it anymore. Let's go over here. What are you discovering? Not much. And here, what do you have? 2 ranged units. Alright, let's just focus on one of them, obviously. I wouldn't mind that they would start shooting at that guy back there. That's perfect. You're discovering. That's good. We'll take this one, and that means I will also be going to this one for Underworld Markets for the next build. But even if that's the next thing we want, or even if we have this, it's not going to be the first thing we prioritize. How are we doing over here? We are almost getting that. So this one will be a guide until the first Landsrat Council, because that's what I kind of feel is the start in the early game. This one is almost complete, so we are going to be ready for the next thing. The very obvious next thing we want to build at this location. We're just going to speed it up just a bit once we get it. And we got this one. We don't have the 44 yet because we actually expanded way too fast. That is honestly good, pretty good. Let's get you out, deploy, and always set it to auto. I can't cope with anything that's not auto. That's way too intense. That one. And here, we're just going to wait for this one to go up to 44. That's not a problem. What did we discover out here? Nothing really. What did we discover with the other one? I shouldn't have done that. I should have continued to explore down here. And with 44 in our pocket. Come on, come on, come on. What's next? There we go. Yes. And you're going to go down there and see if there's anything interesting here. Oh, you are not going to go down there. You definitely need to stay here. This manpower will trickle up to 50 quite soon. And since we don't need more military units right now, then we are going to be putting those 50 points in here to get some more spice. And at this point, we can also just scale down on the spice as well. Let's see if this one gets anything useful. That is deep desert, so that's really bad. Let's go with this location, and we got our new location. So this one should be, if this was ideal, there would be a plascrete factory. It always is going to be a plascrete factory, but if ideally it would be, yeah, something else. Now at this point, the next thing we want to do is actually find one that we don't care about, because we're going to be raiding this one. It has very low wind strength and it has no resources, so that's pretty damn bad location. That means we can actually use this location for raiding. I'll be moving up to this location. We'll be slowly building our militia in here. I like these very much so, but I don't want to spend my ornithopters on these right now. They can be harvested when they need it. By the way, in the early game, always a good idea to go in and see if we can get a trade deal like this. I don't think he'll accept it if it's even. Oh, he will. So even trade deal before we become unfriendly with them. I don't want to do the other ones because that costs authority. But if you are not playing as a tradies, then always make a deal with the tradies, because then those are for free. Let's see if we can run away from that sandstorm. That would be nice. This location could hopefully be a good one. There we go. You have built it. At this point, you have wind speed 2, so the wind speed 2 is pretty miserable. This is before we can get the next. Before we can get the next building. Okay, we'll just deal with this. Before we can get the next building will be. Oh, so before we can get the next village, we're gonna need more water. In order to get water, we're gonna have a location. This one with wind strength 4. So that's gonna be the second building here. Will be wind strength, even though we are researching the underworld markets, but it's 2 plus, that's 10 days away anyway, so we don't need to do that right now. So that's definitely the plan. What we can do now is in here. Nope, that was the agent. There's only one place you can place the agent. Well, there's more places, but there's only one correct place, and that is under the Arrakis infiltration for 2 reasons. You get +1 authority, which is absolutely essential in the beginning. Second of all, you can start doing these quests here. So the black market is super good because it helps us. And there we go. What do you need? It helps us with the spice supply, so we can focus more on money. Okay, here we can see our ranged unit is in melee combat, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to run away. And if you run through your melee unit, they should be sticking on the melee unit afterwards. There we go. Yeah, and then we go back and focus on range unit. This will be a raid location because we don't have enough authority. So in the meantime, we're going to be seeing if we can find something more useful. This is super annoying that we can't do that. There's just no plascrete nearby. Before we get the next spice mining location, though, here, we will absolutely need to get another fuel location. So fuel location could be an okay third location or fourth location even. There we go. I will be pillaging it and then we'll be running back. Here we go. That is a good one, but it takes 3, so we would need to get 1 more unit in here, and I just don't have that yet. Don't have the manpower, don't have the support to do that. There we go. We did get a raid and we have tons of money. And we are now committing a raid. That's always happening, but since we are always getting our up here, then that is good. You will take... There. Again, we'll just keep expanding here, keep looking for options for where we can get something better. If we do another unit, which is kind of handy for what we want, then if we want to get this one, then it'll kind of drain our manpower build, and that's really unfortunate. So at this point, the third building here will be the third building in this location will be the processing plant that we'll get in 7 days, so that fits okay. And the third building here, we can get that now, is going to be the recruitment office for the manpower, so we can probably support a third unit. So this one again does not have anything either. There are so many locations that just doesn't have any good stuff. What we want to do is we want to take this one. We want to keep expanding. This one is at 35 because we have the local dialect that reduces by 7. That's super amazing. So we're going to go in here and take this because we need the fuel. It would be really nice if we could find some good location. Oh, that's the Moondew Valley. That's a good place for getting water. And we are in combat. So let's see. Okay, this is just a simple one like that. This again is a potential. And what we're really looking for is still that plascrete location. And we don't have it yet, so we're going to be struggling with plascrete for this beginning, but you can just imagine that one of them was a plascrete location. We got that building, and we have room here for that here. Oops, that is always happening. Just pause and get in here. There we go. We will be tapping this location, so that will now be ours, and we get the fuel. With the fuel, that means we can actually get a new spice location. So if we find a new spice location, that is something we can take. You don't really need it until you need either additional. You can build one airport, their airport overview, or you can build, but you can't build another spice location until they have more fuel, unless of course you are the Fremen who don't need it. You are gonna go out hunting for more stuff. Since this is our location, then this could be a location. There we go. We got it. And this location, even though it has fuel, we don't really need fuel. So what we really need is plascrete. And we are going to do that. Keep that going. They are basically healthy already. And the next one we'd like to get is up here. We'd like to figure out what mineral is here. If this is spice, I don't know if it can be spice. Point of interest detected. This one is super good because it now means we don't have to care at all about spice at this point, and we can just convert into money. Here's a trade request. At this point, I don't care about my influence. That's up to you, but I don't really care about it. I don't really particularly care about spice. If I could get some concrete, that would be easier because concrete is really what we want to build for. You know, I don't really want it. I don't think that's a good deal for us. We have plenty of that. What we could do is try to see if we can get the other one. That's usually quite tough, but Intel, I don't care about Intel right now. No, you don't. You didn't want to do that. Other options, such as, we always pause here. I don't want to sacrifice my authority at this point. This is way too valuable. But if we could find something that you would want that we don't care about. You like gold for some reason, but you don't care about concrete. So let's see if we can trade some of our gold. Gold is not particularly valuable for us right now, but concrete is something we are going to be used for expansion. So, like, that is a good idea. So I would think that it's a good idea to do some early trades. if you can get away with it. There we go. So now we have tons of concrete for our continued production here. Now at this point, this one is taken, and we want to look for the next option. We don't have an option for expansion just yet. This one is still not able to be taken. That is a potential for taking it, but it's also a potential for just pillaging. We got a building complete, right? So now we have up to +8. That means at this point, I think it's actually a good time for us to build a bigger army. We're gonna build 2 scavengers, and then we'll be taking out this one over here. Because I just need some more price. That's the most important thing. We paid our first penalty here, or our first bribe. That is good, and we get another agent. I will also send it here because, as we are saying, this is the most important thing about this. Once we get this, maybe we will. Oh, look at that! That is definitely going to be the next one we get. Research is now completed. We got the underworld contracts. At this point, I will be doing the modular parts. And now that means over here, we can tap it, and we can then also get the processing plant, get us more gold. That's 30 more gold. I think that's super valuable way of continuing to expand. We're going to be continuing out here. These are valuable, and I want them, but I don't want them necessarily right now. This is probably a bit too far out there to expand. So we really want to see sort of the closed one. So once you're done, I'll get the next one. Construction complete. We got the first building. This one has wind strength 4. We are going to either we could do that one, and that one. So this is actually a good location for a maintenance center, and also later on a fuel plant. But we don't need the fuel right now because there's nothing demanding fuel. But a maintenance center will save money in this one, and even this one eventually. So that's this is next to a lot of different locations. That's we got the Landslide Council being warning, and that's kind of our signal to that it's sort of the transition of the early game. We're gonna get one more location, so let's start heading out.
What do you want?
That one is 2, so that is definitely the one we want, because this has a Moonju Valley. It gets us hegemony. It gets us more wind trap. Wind trap is 100%, and we also have that. So this is actually a absolutely perfect location, which we actually didn't need this one for, but we're going to continue to expand. This one is going to cost 65 to get, so that's pretty expensive, to be honest. And it's also a bit away from where we are. That is over here, so that's not a problem. And we'll continue to go out to this one. This is a wind strength 5. Want to make sure that you are being attacked, but not in melee combat, so that's good. And in terms of the next locations, we got that processing plant. I don't want to go up and use 300 yet. I want to see if I can just get 3 buildings in each location and then basically move on. So the next one location here will be either the fuel and then the water later on. Okay, that's really not really good idea to get in here. Yeah. There, that was good. And you can now redeploy as well. And we are still accumulating some manpower, so that will be pretty good to get that manpower. Oh, there's a new spice field. That's exactly what we wanted to see, a new spice field. And that is a good indication, because that means we can then start preparing for that spice field. That is exactly what we wanted to see here. And the spice field, that means we need to build a fuel deposit for that. This is going to take a bit of time. And it also means that, as you can see, there is not it's going to take a while before we can get this one, because it's simply taking too much. Construction complete. That was good. We're going to be waiting for this to come in. 65. That's going to be one more day. What we really want is this one. This is the absolute amazing one. 500 gold. Absolutely. That's why you want so much gold. We take it, and then we can. We now have enough to go over to the other one. So if you have those, never ever use them for a puny amount of gold. Always use them for exactly as I did there. This one we want to see if it has 2 or 3, but it will definitely be the next one we want to take. And this is going to be probably one of our most valuable locations, because it does plascrete, it does water. We're going to need water before we can do another expansion. So I think we'll put water down first. That's the Landslide Council here. That means we are almost done with what I'm defining as the early game. Here we're going to be starting that. And you will now be healing up, and then we can take the next spice mining location. And that's really where you want to get. Really want to get 2 spice mining locations in the early game. You want to get 4 basically, but you want to get 2 immediately. This one, let's make sure that we get the one that isn't healed up, and you will go here.
What do you need?
And we're good to go. Everyone's healed up. Let's move in. Aside from this, out here now we're starting to see the enemy. That is also good. At this point, we can, since we have the Arrakis, then we can look for options for doing whatever we want of these ones. I can't find the one that I really want, and the one I want is the black market. The black market is the ideal one, but we'll take the siege because sieges are super nice. I'm going to be sending you over here to reduce your damage significantly.
What do you need?
Please kill that one fast. That's to be expected.
As long as we're paid. You might want to hold your breath. Need some bitchy.
What do you want? Yes, boss.
Alright, we should be able to kill this one before anything bad happens. There we go. And then we go in for the last one. We got the development complete. Now we have all of this, and I want to go... At this point, you open up and then say, okay, do you want to go intelligence? Then you could go for this location. Or if you want to go some more military, you can go here. Or in my case, I want to continue to expand, so I will go with this one. We'll be taking this location, and you've built the first location, and what you then need to build is going to be a plascrete location, because that will be super complemented here. We got that, and we are now claiming the second location. Now we need to save up to 500 for the spice mine, but that is not a problem because we've been paying for it as well, so that is super nice. At this point, I think that we've explored enough that we can see where the next locations for expansion will be. It'll be this one, pretty certainly. If we don't have enough, and we don't, then we can always go back to this one and keep raiding it and pillaging it. We are going to take this location, and as soon as we take this location, I am going to say that, there we go, we just hit 2k hegemony. That is pretty damn good to hit that so early. We get that one up and running, we get our militia in here, and then that's the time for us to go into the Landsraad Council. And I think this is a pretty damn good start of the early game. We are now really healthy. We get 2 spice mines. It depends on when you find it, but there's usually an extra spice mine nearby, so that's it's nice to get. We have our army of 3 units. We have positive on everything we do. We can continue to expand. We have our area sort of detected, and basically depending on what things spawn, where do you want to be exploring now from here on. I think this is a excellent start, and I hope this was useful in terms of getting the early game started and just getting ready for it, because I think that once you have this kind of start, I'm not saying it's easy, it's easy to win, but if you are limping behind from the beginning, you're going to be screwed. At this point, we can send most of our money, most of our spice into money, and that means we can have a lot more flexibility. So I think that was a perfect start to the game. If you find this useful, then be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more guides for various games, I want to do more guides for all games that we can think of, then be sure to, or consider at least, to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.